Hello everyone, welcome to William and the Magic Box. Today on our show, we are going to have Zach. Zach is from Tennessee in the USA. So let's see what Zach has to say. Enjoy the interview. Hello.
Hey, William, how's it going?
Hello, Zach. How are you? My God, what a beautiful day behind you.
It's a gorgeous spring day here in Tennessee.
So, Zach, how's your day been so far?
It's been pretty good so far. Work has been not too busy, and it's a beautiful, gorgeous day outside.
Tell me, where are you from, Zach?
Yes, I was born and raised in Tennessee, East Tennessee, near the mountains, and that's where I still live.
Amazing. And I was checking your profile, your pictures. My goodness, you are so lucky to have the possibility to be around the nature in different seasons. I was looking at your picture. I was just screwing up. I was like, oh my God, I'm having a dream now.
We're very fortunate. We have a lot of beautiful areas nearby.
I see. And what do you do for a living, Zach?
Yeah, I work in healthcare administration. I manage a team of analysts.
Right. So tell me a little bit about your job.
Yeah, so we work in healthcare revenue cycle, and we actually build insurance contracts in the computer system. So it's very technical work.
And what do you like the most about your job?
Honestly, I like connecting with the people, and you would think it would be, I guess, more challenging than it is to connect virtually because I actually work from home. But our team does a great job of staying connected. We have some great people, and we have some good communication. So I really enjoy just, those relationships that we build as we work together.
Amazing. Very good. Okay, so before we start our journey, William and the Magic Box, would you like you to tell me something interesting about yourself?
Something interesting about myself. Let's see here. I was homeschooled growing up. I never went to public school.
Lucky you.
Yeah.
And what was the experience having this education, in your opinion, when you look back? What was the best part of it?
Yeah, I think the best part was that I had a lot of freedom to kind of chart my own course. I had a lot of independent study and was able to do a lot of learning just on my own as I was growing up. And I felt like that was really helpful. And once I got to college, I felt really, really prepared. So it was a good experience for me.
Very good. Okay, Zach, so are you ready to go on a beautiful journey through your memories in life and to share your point of views?
Give it my best.
Hey, welcome to William and the Magic Box. So I have here my full of random questions, okay? I'm just gonna play a song now just for us to move a little bit before the first question, okay?
Okay, let's go.
Let's do Okay, Zach. So just before we start the game, through the journey, if there is a question that you don't want to talk about for some reason, you don't want to answer, I always can change, okay? It's all very friendly.
Okay, no problem.
First question for you is, what bad habits you wish you could stop?
That is a great question. I can tell you one that I have stopped that I used to be really bad about. I would chew my fingernails. It's a really gross habit. And I did it for many years, but over time I was finally able to stop doing that. And my fingernails today thank me for it.
And when you were doing it, what was the reason why? Because of you're nervous or something was happening?
I think it was a nervous habit, and honestly something I wasn't really, always aware of. until I look down and see, oh, I don't have any fingernails left. So it was just a nervous habit, and I did deal with some anxiety as I grew up. So I think it was just one of those coping mechanisms, as they say.
Absolutely. Actually, I never had that, but I found quite difficult to bite my nails sometimes. I remember when I talk to people about that, they go like, "Oh my God, I could eat like a lot," and I was trying to do it the same. I was like, I'm not able to do that. Lucky me.
Good for you.
Next one. Okay, Zach, before the next question, as I mentioned before, that I was checking your profile and I could see how much you like to be in touch with the nature. You always been like that? You have the passion of being in touch with nature?
I have, but I think it's something that as I've gotten older, especially as an adult, it's something that I put a little more focus on. I've realized how much just sense of peace and calm that I feel when I'm out in the woods exploring, and I try to dedicate as much time to that as I can.
And as I could see your picture, there was different season of the year. There, the winter, I could see summertime as well, and autumn. Which one is your favorite to be around nature?
Oh, great question. And it's a hard one because there's something I like about every season, and I like that where we live, we get to experience all 4 seasons for what they are. I honestly think spring and fall are my 2 favorite seasons. The temperature is so pleasant out like it is today. It's in the mid 60s today. And spring, you get to see all the plants and things coming back to life. And then in the fall, it's a similar weather pattern, but we get the beautiful fall leaves in our area as well, especially up in the mountains. So I think those kind of changing seasons are the ones that I like the best.
Very good. Next question for you is, describe yourself in 3 words only.
That is a hard one. 3 words. I would say patient and kind. I try to be, at least. And loving. I try to share my love with others as much as I can.
And describe yourself in 1 negative word. What that would be?
Easily. I don't know about 1 word, but I'm easily persuaded by ads. So when I see ads for fast food or something, I can't help myself but go get that hamburger or whatever it is.
Always been this way?
I have. I'm easily swayed.
Next question, Zach. Next question for you is, where do you see yourself in 5 years' time?
In 5 years' time, I think I see myself in a similar place career-wise. I really like the team that I manage and like being a leader for that team. So I think I can see myself continuing on in that direction. As far as life goes, I hope I see myself traveling more, especially as the pandemic ends. I love to travel, and I've not done a lot of international travel, and so that's something over the next few years I'd like to work towards. So traveling more, continuing to get out and explore outdoors. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Let's say if you could travel somewhere outside of the US, where would you go? The first place right now.
Right now, I have always wanted to visit Italy, so that would probably be where I would want to go if I could go anywhere right now.
Anywhere specific, or you'd like to explore the whole country?
The whole country. Part of my background is actually in art, so I'd like to check out some of the really historic artworks that are there in Italy, and then also the beautiful outdoor areas, especially along the coast, like the Amalfi Coast. I've always wanted to see those beautiful beaches there. So yeah, I think there'd be a lot to check out.
For sure. Actually, I'm so close. I mean, I'm in London. I'm closer than you are to Italy, but I've never been there. Can you imagine? I've never been to Italy. Actually, saying that, no, I've been once. I need to change a flight in Rome, but was just like for a few hours. But I didn't manage to leave the airport and to explore a little bit. But yeah, I would like to explore Italy as well.
Yeah, well, I hope you get to, and I hope I do as well.
Yes, actually, let's meet up there so we can explore together.
There we go. There we go. Sounds like a good vacation to me.
Next one. Okay, so tell me about being gay. Did you always have the support of your family? And tell me the day when you came out, if you can share, or if there was a reason, or you just naturally felt, okay, I just want to be myself, I want to express myself the way I am, and you just came out, or if something happened?
Yeah, so that's a great question. I've known that I was gay since I was probably about 11 years old, but I kind of grew up in a religious type household, and so that was something that wasn't really talked about, and if it was in a negative context. So I was kind of closeted to myself for many years, and I didn't really kind of come to grips with who I am until I was about 22 years old, and I guess it just holding that secret inside for so long became too much. And so I began by just telling a few of my closest friends. And then eventually more and more people found out. And it was kind of a rough time with my family, to be honest. Especially the first few years after I came out. It was kind of a negative, challenging time for me. But things have improved in that area. And then actually that same year that I came out, I started dating my now husband, and we've been together for 14 years now. So.
Oh my God, that's beautiful, Zach. I didn't know that. Beautiful. 14 years. That's beautiful to see, to know. My God.
Yeah, hard to believe it's been that long.
Oh, wow. Wow. And you have siblings as well?
Yeah, I have two siblings, a brother and a sister.
I see. And they were very supportive, or they are now, regarding that?
Yeah, my sister especially, she's always been supportive. My brother's not as much, but you know, people have to kind of figure things out in their own time, and we all come from different perspectives. So we are in a better place now. You know, we can all hang out and be kind to each other. So it's progress, I would say.
I think it's very important what you said. Sometimes people they need their time to understand things, to educate themselves, and I think it's very it's down to us as well to understand that, and to to put ourselves in their shoes, because sometimes the way we've been raised, or the way society taught us the way it should be, in a way, sometimes people they need their time. Sometimes you need to understand that as well. I think it's a good point you said that, and you just understand, you know what I mean?
It's very true. I think you know, like I said, one of my words I would describe myself with is patience, but I still have to remind myself every day how important that is. And when you approach somebody with something like that, it does take some patience and a lot of conversation to work through.
Absolutely. And when you said about being patient, just your voice is very calm. You pass this way of being patient.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Right. Next question for you is, do you have any pet peeves?
Any pet peeves? I would say flakiness. You know, someone who doesn't keep a commitment. That really frustrates me. You know, I try to do what I say I'm going to do, and I expect the people in my life to try to do the same. So yeah, I like people who keep their commitments.
Very good. Next question, Zach. Let's do it. Okay, Zach, next question for you is, if you were to raise a child, what are the most important things would you like them to learn?
I would like them to learn at a very early age. It doesn't take a lot to be kind to other people. And there are lots of different types of people in this world. And every person has value, and every person has something to offer. And everybody deserves love. So I think I would want to teach my child that lesson.
I think being kind is such a easy thing to be, or to, you know what I mean, to show your kindness. Something doesn't take a lot of you, and I think in the end of the day, you giving, like, expressing kindness, you are taking kindness to yourself. You are helping yourself somehow.
I completely agree. I think there's a lot of karma to that, and I also think that it takes more energy to be negative and mean than it does to just be nice.
Totally. You go to bed like, this negative energy, and if you have kindness, you give away kindness. You just go to bed like feeling so calm, and with this nice feeling that you made someone happier. You made someone, you know what I mean. You gave this nice gesture to someone. Totally agree as well.
Yeah, completely.
Ready for another one?
Let's do it.
Absolutely, let's do it. Okay, Zach, before the next question, as you're saying about you've been in a relationship for 14 years. Wow, that's beautiful. Tell me, so far, what's the most beautiful lesson you've learned from your husband so far?
He has taught me a lot of great lessons over the years, and I love that the longer we've been together, I feel like we've each kind of adapted some of each other's better traits, just from all that time together and learning together. I think he has helped me to communicate better, to be more assertive whenever I'm communicating an idea or an opinion. I used to be kind of bad about being just really kind of passive, and I would shut down whenever there was a disagreement or something like that. But he and other people in my life over the past years have taught me, you can get your point across. It's important for the other person to hear you. You don't have to shut down. You don't have to give the silent treatment. Let them know what you need, but be respectful about it. So I think, good communication skills is one of the most important things that my husband's helped me with over the years.
Amazing. Saying that, what's the biggest similarity between both of you, and what's the biggest difference?
Biggest similarities, we can both be really goofy and really weird sometimes. and we talk about all the time, like, we love that we can be weird with each other, because we have that trust and we love each other so much. We can just be whatever we need to be in any given moment. And what was the other part of that question? I'm sorry.
What's the biggest difference between both?
Biggest difference? I think it would be how we process things, especially emotions. My hubby tends to process by talking things out. He kind of processes through communicating whatever he's feeling, and he kind of even some light bulbs can go off while he's talking through something. Whereas I usually kind of internalize things. I like to think through things before I talk about it. So he's kind of more of an in-the-moment type communicator, and I'm more of a introspective, give me a little time and I'll get back to you.
So sweet to say you said, my hobby. A hobby.
My hobby, yeah.
Oh, sweet. Next question is, what is the strangest gift have you ever received?
Oh my goodness. Let's see. It was probably a few years back, our team at work did one of those holiday gift exchanges where you don't really know who's giving you gifts, but it's it's like a secret Santa type thing. And I received a set of 5 picture frames with 5 photographs in them, all of me, but there was an elf that they had photoshopped into the photos with me in each one of them. It was one of the strangest, funniest things I had ever seen. But yeah, you gotta give them some kudos for being so creative, I guess.
Do you have those or not?
Oh, I probably have them somewhere. I haven't seen them in years, but it was definitely hilarious, and I had a fun time showing it off to the rest of the people in the office.
Next question, Zach. Let's do it. Okay, Zach, next question for you is, what's the best and the worst of being yourself?
Of being myself. I think the best is that I feel like I do have a great capacity for loving and caring for others and showing compassion to a lot of different types of people. And I think the flip side of that is also the worst, that when you care so much and you want to do so much good and you see so many people hurting, it can be very frustrating and a little bit disappointing. But you just got to keep putting it out there, one day at a time is my motto.
Absolutely. I think I totally agree. I think being like kind and love as well, love, sometimes it can go both directions, because people not always are prepared to have this genuine love or this genuine kindness as well. And somehow you get hurt, let's say, in a way.
It's very true. Yep.
It's part of the journey, you know what I mean? The older you get, you kind of find mechanism to protect yourself. But when your personality genuine is like that, you're always gonna be like that. You just need to find a way to protect yourself and to know how to, to manage this situation.
Yeah, I think it's helpful to realize there's only so much you can do. I am only one person, but even if I can share a little bit of positivity in this world, it's enough, it's important.
Good. Next question for you. Let's do it.
Okay.
Zach, before the next question, tell me, what's the most challenging part of your job, in your opinion?
The most challenging part of my job deals with a lot of numbers, and I'll be honest, math is not my strong suit. We have to, load a lot of numbers into the computer system, and I think the most challenging is when those numbers don't add up, or they don't add up to what we think they should. There's a lot of research and analysis involved to kind of find the solution with that. And so with numbers not being my strong suit overall in my life, that's been a good challenge. But I like challenges like that. I feel like it's a good way to grow, and I've definitely become a lot better at my job over the years as I've kept at it.
Very good. Next question is, what makes you feel discouraged?
Discouraged, I think it would be people reacting to different situations out of ignorance, not taking the time to learn and grow themselves, to learn about other people, to learn about just kind of how the world works. I've known, unfortunately, a lot of that in my lifetime, and people can be so hateful and rude and disrespectful at the drop of a hat, and especially when they do it without even taking the time to understand what they're doing, it's pretty discouraging.
And what is your approach on that situation when that happens?
Again, I guess that ties back to my growth in my own communication, but I try to take a step back and realize, okay, they're coming from this perspective. I have my own. If they're willing to hear my perspective, I'm happy to share it. And I'm happy to have a dialogue. Other than that, I think I try to project that positivity out there and encourage people to learn. I'm thinking about maybe on social media, like, I try not to put a lot of political opinions out there, but if I do post something that's opinionated, I try to do it in a way that's like, well, here's a different perspective. Maybe you might want to think about it this way. Not telling people what they should do, but what you should maybe consider.
I can picture yourself putting this kind of very controversial topic in this beautiful nature where you walk.
Right.
I think people, they wouldn't care about the topic. They'll just look like when I was looking at your picture. I was like, oh wow, my goodness.
Yes. Well, and that's one thing about where we live in the Tennessee area and the southern United States in particular. And you've probably heard this, but there's a lot of division within the culture here. There's a lot of very conservative, kind of lesser evolved viewpoints, in my opinion. And then, especially the younger generation, people my age and younger, tend to be a little more open-minded. And so there's a generational gap here, but there's also, religious gaps and political gaps. So you have a lot of really competing viewpoints and people with different worldviews who have to live in the same communities together. So it's a beautiful place to live, but it does come with its challenges.
And do you think, Zach, when you look back, like, let's say when you were young, like when you were 20, 19, do you think it has a bit of improvement? People, they are more open-minded and more approachable regarding everything? Or do you think still there's a lot of steps to go?
I think there's been improvement, but it's, of course, slower than a lot of people would like.
Right.
I would say, especially in the last 5 to 10 years, there's been a lot of progress in our community. Different organizations have formed that are supporting LGBTQ people. We've had Pride festivals in our area the past few years. So little things like that. Well, they're not little; they're actually big, coming from where I've come from. But things like that give me hope, and they give me encouragement, and know that even though progress is slow, it's still going in the right direction.
I think nowadays with the technology, I think the message is more visible, even for those close-minded people. They don't want to see. It's difficult to avoid because the information is out there, in their face. I think nowadays, in the past, there is not much the information was there, but wasn't visible. Nowadays it's impossible, almost impossible for you not to face it, even if you don't want, but it's there, in front of you.
Yeah, completely agree.
I think that's the best part of the technology. I think that to get away the information out there in people's face, and even though if they don't want to see it, but it's there. Zach, exactly. I have 3 questions left for you, okay?
Okay, let's do it.
Let's do it. Zach, next question for you is, who was your first crush and why?
Oh my goodness. First crush was probably somebody at the church that I grew up at, believe it or not. I was really involved with the youth group and the youth choir and all those activities at church growing up, and there were some cuties there, so I'd say that's probably where it was.
You're there praying and singing, and your eyes was around, like, okay.
Getting a little distracted, I'm sure.
2 questions left. Let's do it.
Okay.
I can hear like a dog barking. Is it easy for you to show me or not? It's far away. I can hear like a dog.
I'm sorry, that's the next door neighbor dog. It's not our dog. Yeah, it barks a little too much sometimes.
It's okay. I think he knows that we are doing the shooting for the magic box. He's just excited.
So excited. Yeah, that's what it is.
Right. Before the next question, Zach, tell me, you're saying about Tennessee. Tell me what's Tennessee state stands out compare with the other states in the US. There's something like unique difference that I only can find there. I can find anywhere else in the US.
Yeah, a good question. Tennessee is really diverse geographically. So where I live, we're near the Appalachian mountain chain. And there's a lot of beautiful mountains and hills in high country where I live. And then as you go further west, it flattens out. So like Nashville's the capital of Tennessee. It's known as like the home of country music, and a big music scene there. And then as you go further west, it gets even flatter. There's no hills anymore. Out towards Memphis, which is on like the banks of the Mississippi River, it looks very different there. So geographically, I think Tennessee is kind of cool that depending on what side of the state you're on, it looks completely different. Right. It's a very long state. It takes like 7 hours to get from one corner to the next if you're driving.
Wow.
So yeah. And then I would also say, the country music, and especially in my area, the Appalachian culture's kind of a prevalent theme. a lot of traditions that, people have grown up with in this area that they continue to try to pass down. That's kind of one of the unique things around here.
And how about food-wise? Is something different that I only can find there?
There is a lot of barbecue, especially in East Tennessee where we live. And it's Southern barbecue, so very kind of smoky flavored. Really good in my opinion. I love barbecue.
Right, next question for you is, tell us about your best vacation and why you consider that.
Best vacation. So a few years ago, I finally got my passport, and hubby and I went on a vacation with some good friends of ours to St. Martin, which I'm not sure if you're familiar, but it's an island down in the Caribbean. And it was really the first time I've been out of the country to travel like that before. So, I love the outdoors, and this was a new type of beach experience for me. I'd never been to somewhere so tropical like that with the water that was so blue. So it felt like paradise to me. I didn't want to leave.
When was that?
That was back in 2019, just before the pandemic. So that goes back to, haven't been able to travel as much as I'd like to the past couple of years due to the COVID outbreak. But hopefully the next 5 years looking ahead, hopefully that'll be something I can do more of.
I see. Good. Ready for the last question?
Yes, sir.
Let's do it. Last question. Zach, but before the last question, when you look back through these 2 years, the challenge that the world has been facing regarding the COVID crisis, what's the biggest positive impact that brought to your personal life? And what's the biggest negative impact that affects your life with the COVID crisis, in your opinion?
Yeah, I feel very lucky. I feel like my life has not really been impacted a lot personally. I realize for thousands and thousands of other people it has. So I try to be mindful of that. But it honestly, I would say, not being out in public as much anymore, especially in 2020, it forced me to kind of think about what kinds of activities can I still get out and do that's not around a lot of people. And so that's been another thing to kind of spur on my focus on being outdoors. So I bought a kayak back in 2020, and now we have several kayaks because I realized I love it so much. And I think, discovering things like that about myself was actually a nice byproduct of, trying to reconsider, what I do when I get out in this world. I would think negatively, again, I'm very fortunate. I haven't really been impacted much. I have definitely known friends who have had family members who have passed away from COVID. A lot of people who have had it have been ill with it. So that's obviously a really big negative there. But I hope and I think that we are starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel. And I hope that as people become a little more, their life gets back to normal a little bit and start interacting together more in person, I hope that we can just maybe reorient ourselves to being a little more kind towards each other, being a little more thoughtful. I think it was maybe, in some ways good to have a pause on our social interactions for a time so that we can kind of regroup and focus on what really matters.
Totally agree. I think it feels more like the world is going back to normal again. It feels like more now after those 2 years.
I agree. It's definitely getting there. So I'm very thankful for that.
Very good. Okay, last question for you is, what is the biggest prize you ever won?
Biggest prize I ever won was actually this past Christmas. The company I worked for had a big holiday party, and I won $1,000 gift card at the party. So
that's amazing.
That was pretty exciting. Yeah.
What did you do with this $1,000?
So it was a gift card to a like a home renovation store, and so I bought like a new toilet, a new ceiling fan, different things for around the house, stuff that you kind of don't really want to spend your money on normally. It's nice to be able to just go and pick out something that I like. So
Amazing, lucky you, my goodness.
I know.
That was the biggest prize of the night?
No, there were some bigger ones. One person won like, it was a lot of money. I forget how much, but
Wow.
I worked for a very generous company, so there was a lot of excited, happy people that night.
Maybe next year you're gonna get the biggest prize. Never know.
You never know. You never know.
Okay, Zach, not the end yet. Let's play now the word association game. Okay, I'm going to give away some words. Just tell one word that comes to your mind. Quick thinking. Okay.
Okay.
So, I hope you are enjoying the interview. Before we do the word association game, don't forget to give a like, don't forget to share this video, and also don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Just click on the button right there. Thank you so much and enjoy the word association game. Family.
Home.
How about money?
Shopping.
One word for love.
Kindness. I think I'll go back to that word.
Okay. How about sex?
Passion.
Life.
Short.
Politics.
Divisive.
Religion.
Complicated.
One word for fear.
Gosh, that's a hard one. Fear. I don't think about fear a lot.
Okay.
Maybe escape.
Okay. Friendship.
Commitment.
Desire.
Interest.
Regrets.
Thoughtfulness.
Success.
Success. Overcoming.
One word for wish.
Dream.
Happiness.
Smile.
One word for Tennessee.
Also like religion, very complicated.
One word for USA.
Can it be two words? Growing pains.
And the last one now, nature.
Sanctuary.
Amazing. Let's pretend now I'm going to meet your lovely husband for a coffee, and I'm going to ask him, tell me the most beautiful thing about Zach, and tell me something that he still needs to work on, to improve on, what he would say.
I think he would say that I have a very gentle, kind nature about me, and I share that with a lot of people in my life. And I've taught him some things about patience. And what was the other part of the question?
The negative part, the negative thing that you need to improve.
I think he would say that I can be slow to grow, slow to make improvements, especially, we've had different disagreements over the years, and it can take me a while to learn sometimes, but I always try to have forward progress. That's the main thing. I always try to be getting better, even if it's slowly.
I see. What's your star sign, Zach, for curiosity?
Aquarius.
Interesting.
How about you?
I'm Scorpio.
Scorpio, okay.
How about your husband?
He's a Cancer.
Cancer. Interesting.
Yep. And he could tell you a lot more about our signs. He's more into the star charts and all that.
That's a good way for you to invite him for the show. It'll be a pleasure.
Exactly. There you go. There you
There
go.
you go. I'm gonna use you as our connection, okay?
Okay.
Amazing.
Be like, your husband said I could call you. Yeah.
Okay, Zach, let's play now. Zach in the magic box, and you can ask me a question. But before that, let's play the music one more time. Let's do it.
Okay.
All right. So now you can ask me a question, Zach.
All right. So as you know, being outdoors and being out in nature is really important to me. And there are certain places that I feel just really connected to. So I wonder for you, William, where outside do you feel most connected?
Good question. I love the question. Right. I must say, Zach, I grew up, I'm back in Brazil. I grew up as well around nature. I come from a very small place where I was surrounded with waterfalls, lakes, river, you know what I mean? Rivers and nature, trees. I was far away from the beach. Like the closest beach for me was 2 hours by plane. So very far away.
Okay.
But
Pretty
besides
far away.
that,
Okay.
yeah, so besides that, I always been very fortunate that when I look back my childhood, I always feel very lucky that they had the opportunity to be around, you know what I mean? I think it makes a difference in your life as an adult, because as you're saying about being kind, this approach about kindness, it's all connected with nature. I think you learn a lot just being spaced out in nature, just when you go there, you know. And I must say, here in London, you know, sometimes when I go outside London, when I go small towns, or sometimes even in London, those parks as well, I just like being in the parks and see the dogs playing around, you know what I mean? It's like a therapy for me to see the dogs playing around, full of energy, you know, like this joy, playful. I'm not lucky as you to have this beautiful nature, you know, sights around. But I must say, I love Canada. I've been there 3 times. My best friend lives there. And I spent Christmas, last Christmas and New Year's Eve, I was in Canada and it was snowing. And it was the very first time that I spent Christmas, white Christmas, snowing. So It was amazing for me to be there in the cold. It was very cold at the cold time, but at the same time as well, I had the opportunity to be around nature. Canada is like where you come from, you know. As I said, looking at your pictures, I remember that when I've been there, 2 times before, it was summertime, and we were camping, we were doing canoeing as well. So it was amazing to be. I felt like part of the National Geographic Channel, you know.
Yes, that sounds fabulous.
So yeah, so for me, yes, I always been very connected with the nature as well. You know, I just, as soon as I walk to the park, any park where I go, I just go barefoot and I just feel, I forget about the world, I forget about problems, I forget about my life, I forget about everything. I just connect with the nature. So yeah, answering to your questions, when I have the opportunity to, you know, to be in touch with nature, I just take in a very positive way, and I enjoy the most as well. But when I cannot, I just go into the park as well. For me, it's a way for me to be connected with nature. I think it doesn't matter where you are. If you are connected in, you know what I mean, in a place where you can just feel the fresh air, or also just be with your barefoot in a, you know, the nature. I think that's it's a recharging your batteries. I think it's a good way to be.
Yeah. Well, great answer. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for taking the time. Did you have a good time? Did you enjoy the interview?
I enjoyed it. Yes, sir. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much. I know you're very busy and you took the time for the interview. I appreciate that. Thank you, Zach. But just before you go, if you can share a positive message or a positive quote, something that inspires you in life.
Yeah. So the one I picked out is actually by Dolly Parton. Do you know her?
No, I don't think I do.
Okay, Dolly Parton is a beloved singer, musician. She's done some film as well, but she actually is from East Tennessee, where I live. And now she's a international beloved person. So her quote that I chose is, she said, "The way I see it, if you want the rainbow, you got to put up with the rain."
Totally.
And to me, when I think about that quote, you know, we have a lot of less than ideal situations in life. But if we are patient and allow ourselves to work through them, oftentimes there's a rainbow waiting for us on the other side.
And in the end of the day, we need the rainbow and we need the rain as well, because both work together. Do you know what I mean?
Both are important. It's all part of life.
Absolutely. If you have just the rainbow, it would be boring. And if you had just the rain, it would be depressed. So you need both to know what I mean, to balance.
Exactly. And after a storm, we appreciate that rainbow even more.
Even more, absolutely. But saying that, I think I know who she is. It's a blondish, elderly lady.
Yes.
Now, never know.
Exactly.
I just don't want to give away, but yes, I had a guest on the show as well who's a big fan of her, and he was telling about her as well. And of course, I know who she is. I can see the picture of herself. It's a country music.
Yeah,
isn't she? Yeah.
Country music legend. She's a big icon in the gay community as well. So.
Yeah. I had for Australia, it's a big fan of her. For Australia, can you imagine?
Okay.
Zach, regards to your husband, regards to yourself, to your family, and keep in touch. Thanks for the interview. It was a pleasure. Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Take care. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye.
So, did you like the show? Don't forget to give a like, to share it, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to be part of the show as well, first, subscribe to our channel, and after that, just go to our website, www.williamandthemagicbox.com, and send us a request saying why you'd like to be part of the show. And I see you there. Bye bye, see you next time.